now has to really keep in mind that the aggression from Resent is going to definitely increase on the favored side of the map. And with that in mind, Arcity is going to immediately get the first touch on the drone, and he's going to run it the hell out of there, and he's able to get in through the steps so far.
That was a great play. Now, EZG is obviously in a great position to get an early 1 point toss, one player from behind, and Arcity has no issue firing away the 1 point dunk, and he's going to fire a couple shots away with the RK5. Simp doing a little bit of work on the other side of the map, and like I said, that'll be an early toss coming in from the side of EZG. That was very, very important for them as well, kind of being on that less favorable side and trying to win these early gunfights. So Simp ends up dropping, so this is a great job from EZG, kind of constantly slaying out, but in that case, there's 3 down for either side. Now, Arcties has an easy 1 point opportunity. Does he work for it? And can he fire it away? He does. So nice 2 early shots coming out of EZG as they look to be better on this side than they did in the last one.
They absolutely are looking like a whole new team on this side, as those 1% or those 1 point throws, you have to have a high percentage on those in order to come out victorious there. And this is another attempt. Muni does get a heat wave, and he's just going to go for the 1 point throw. Does not even try to advance it. Will get a chance to connect. And just like that, unanswered point, 6-1, and 3 players go down for Resent. EZG playing lights out on the second side.
EZG are putting up a show as they have, like, there's literally 1 player fighting 3 guys, and it's working out for them every single time. And this is Stumpy. In some cases, that might have been actually intentional to maybe fire that drone off the map, but I think that was just kind of a difficult situation for him to be in. Munibro trying to fire away for us a little bit of kills, but that was just in general. These first couple minutes, these first 2 minutes have been absolutely stellar for the side of EZG, constantly making sure they're getting players down and completely outslaying the side of Resent. I mean, they've really not had a whole lot of answers up to this point, as we're going to see Arcties most likely try to go for a wrap around. And even if he falls off the map, and like watch, you're going to see 3 players rotate over. Even if he doesn't get this point in, and he might actually do so, he's always getting the Resent players watching him. And that's going to leave an option, meaning if that drone falls off the map, EZG are set up perfectly again, and they're just going to keep slaying. So EZG is doing everything absolutely perfect, and they look to be in control without a doubt as they're up by 6. And nice ball swap getting ready to come in from Snuffy most likely, but no, he's going to throw the drone down and ends up getting dropped in the end.
The scythe coming in huge for Arcties, gets 4 players, including a teammate, but does get shut down, and Joel saves another possible score, and that is exactly what they needed to do, being down 6 points. That's 4 possessions, and that is definitely something that they need to work on turning around here with 2 minutes and 24 seconds left. Joel slaying well with the M8 and with the RK5, and has to pick up another player, not able to do so. Simp about to get shut down, but a little bit of hot potato going through, as he's going to be able to pick that back up and try to go for a 1 point throw. But look at the defense by EZG. They're dropping like flies, but they do slow down that drone play.
Yeah, and they've got to fire away a point now. Like, I think Simp has had the drone for like the last 3 minutes, and thankfully he does fire away in some points. But imagine if he drops there, they hold that drone for 30 seconds and don't really progress anything. So, I mean, just in general, that was a great play from from the side of Resent, but they've got to get these drone scores happening, because you do not want to see EZG get on a run and completely outslay you. But it seems that Resent has kind of maintained and kind of grabbed their, or you can see, kind of fired back a little bit as they've kind of realized what's kind of going on in this overall map. And now Munibro going to go on a nice little bit of a wall run and can possibly go for a 1 point toss. You're going to see 2 of the Resent players kind of watching around him, trying to play a little bit of base defense, but he is just luring these guys out. And it looks like he's going to go in back in the back of his base. I like this play from him. The sit here has no issue kind of holding on to the drone, and if he does get killed, that drone's going to be respawned, and he has no issue with that.
I love this play. You bleed out the clock.
Oh, no.
And the only problem is, when you're advancing the drone past the portal, you have to make sure you get a score, man. You cannot just dance around there and give up the complete score. But it's a 7-4 game, 60 seconds remaining. If you're Resent, you got to capitalize on that massive mistake by EZG.
Especially because EZG just gave you a free point. Like, I thought that was a good play if he was going to wall run, but he just walked right into him, wasted his heat wave as well, and that's going to be, like I said, a 1 point toss. Not only a 2 possession game, how can Resent respond? And EZG most likely try to give them another point. I don't know if that's going to happen ever again, but Kazmo firing away the Tempest, drops 1, drops 2 as well. That's going to be almost 3 players dropping for the side of Resent. Only 30 seconds remaining. And now 1 player left. That's going to be Joel. And he's going to be in a very difficult situation. Can they bring this one back? Like I said, a 2 possession game. Nades coming out. Stumpy with the kill through water. This one looks to be possibly wrapped up, as it looks to be possibly EZG grabbing a respawn. As this is a very, very favorable game for them. Arcties with the drone in hand, trying to maybe fire away a last second point to maybe put the nail in the coffin, so to say. But he's not even going to vie for that. They know they just want to respawn off of Resent, and they are very, very proud of that victory.
Well, they absolutely are very proud, and another attempt will go through. That's a last-second connect there. Very fancy throws coming in from EZG. So despite a very big mistake there, able to close out the game in this series here for map number 3, and they did so in very good fashion on the second side of play, something we don't always see, but when we do, it's definitely exciting to watch.
Black Ops RTB for debrief.
Without a doubt. And one thing kind of coming into that game, I think that was just really good and really big for EZG's overall confidence. I mean, coming into that first respawn, they had some really good moments, but it was always Resent who were on top. It was just EZG trying to make their comeback. And in this game, it was always EZG who were on top. So in some cases, I mean, moving on to the next respawn, which will obviously be CTF, I believe over on Fringe. I mean, EZG on map point, they could possibly walk away with the series in this next game. They took a respawn up. They're feeling confident. There's no reason why they can't close this one out here, but how does Resent respond? You know, we lost the Search and Destroy. We kind of, in some ways, got destroyed when it came to clutch up situations. We lost a respawn. How do they respond back? Fringe will be our last 2 maps, so it's going to be settled on those last 2, and obviously if it does come to that game 5. But
yeah,
if we see a similar situation, at least the confidence coming out of EZG to slay that well, Resent are in a very, very bad spot right now.
They are in a bad spot, of course. Match point here for EZG, unless if Resent Gaming, the #1 seed currently in the season standings, they are definitely going to have to play their hardest on this upcoming CTF. Of course, that will be played on Fringe, and you're not going to want to miss that. We're going to go into a quick commercial break. Make sure you're tweeting out the stream for both of these teams. We'll be right back with some more competitive Call of Duty.
The ideal controller is something that's comfortable. It needs to be very precise. You need to have accurate functions on the controller so that you can be competing at the top level. The Razer Wildcat I actually really like, and I'm very picky with my equipment.
Lightweight, fits in your hands well, just got a nice shape to it.
I like the way it feels. The biggest part for me when I'm holding a controller is I want it to be comfortable.
It just feels great when you're holding it for long periods of time in gaming.
Programmable buttons everywhere, all over it, so you never really have to move your hands at all.
With the customization of the buttons, it allows you to do several different things inside the game that you wouldn't be able to do before without moving your fingers off the joysticks.
Just not having to take my finger off the joystick when I'm playing and reprogramming some of the buttons to the triggers and stuff on the back, definitely something I really liked about it.
Since I've been testing the Razer Wildcat, I just can't wait to get my hands on the finished product. It's just such an amazing controller. Yeah, I can just tell it's going to elevate my gameplay and help me out a lot going into Halo 5.
I was just running around playing a few games on it earlier and felt really natural and very accurate, which is important for me as a competitor. Everything just felt solid about it.
Honestly, it's a perfect controller.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Perfect Alliance Online League. I believe it's week 5. And our one match currently going on tonight is between EZG and Resent Gaming, the top 2 teams currently in the league. The Titans battling it out as it is currently a 2-1 lead in favor of EZG. The last 2 map wins have been on Redwood Search and Destroy and also on Uplink Evac. They absolutely took control, and they've looked to be in a very viable situation as they are now on map point here, Maze. It's all about how can they close this one out, or how can Resent respond to possibly send it to a Game 5.
Definitely going to be telling here for Resent Gaming. This is such an important match for them because they could really stay in that #1 spot in the standings or give it up, as EZG will continue their series win streak at 8 if they're able to win this one on this particular map. Of course, if it goes to a Game 5, I mean, it could definitely favor Resent Gaming in Game 5. It's very possible, but EZG's just very, very hot in the season so far, and that slow start in the beginning of the season completely null and void, as I mentioned before. Of course, a huge shout out to our sponsors, Jerky XP, Honey Badger, XSplit, Team Razor, and of course Custom Config, making all of this possible. But during this Ban and Protect, already some target bans coming through. Man of War, definitely one to point out there, and the VMP as well, getting nullified there by Joel. And then the Kuda immediately gets taken out there as well. So not only do we see 3 consecutive specialist bans, but then we see 3 consecutive weapon bans as well. Rapid fire, next one to come out.
With those subs being taken out, I can already see like Simp sitting like at his desk right now, like yes, like the evil laugh going on right now because he's really excited that those ARs are going to be ever prevalent. Obviously, the Man of War being shut down, but honestly, that's not really that big of a deal. I mean, basically every AR is on the board still, but kind of interesting to kind of point out the Ban and Protect phase. You're not going to see Overdrive, Kinetic Armor, or Active Camo be in use yet again. I believe we also saw that in the Search. You're not going to see it in the CTF either. Which teams decide to viable or decide to use with what? That's going to be the question. And Maze, what are we seeing in the specialist draft up to this point?
Well, at this point, definitely Heatwave and Psychosis is going to be major ones. Vision Pulse, another one that could definitely come through. It's one that's very, very important on a map like Fringe where you need intel as much as possible. And of course, the Scythe, no surprise there for being picked. Vision Pulse needs to be picked, in my opinion,
really does,
at some point when you have, you know, some of those major specialist abilities taken off the board. But overall, if that's not picked, my next go-to is going to see how these players are going to opt to make their loadouts, because if they do not have that's a very strange thing. My gosh, I interrupted my own sentence because I saw Tempest and Glitch there. No Vision Pulse, so that's definitely telling to say the least. But back to the loadouts here, Landon. I definitely think that you need to have an EMP class made right away, because since the fact that some of these AR players are definitely going to be sitting back getting kills, you're going to have to figure out a way to combat a possible Cerberus coming in or a higher streak like that could potentially rear its head throughout this particular map. So we'll find out how that will go through. But weird specialist draft, Glitch and Tempest being utilized in CTF.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not at all. If I'm their teammates, I'm like, why do we not choose? I mean, it's a perfect situation. It's lined up great. I mean, the Tempest is fine. I mean, granted, the Tempest is a great one to use. I mean, the Glitch, I could argue it's not that useful when it comes to this game if you're the flag runner or if you're trying to win a clutch gunfight. And in CTF, it comes down to those a lot of the time. But just in general, having that Vision Pulse, if you're in a clutch situation, if you're even near the base to cap the flag, or if you're near the base to fire one through to get it, you know, whatever time that you're in the map, Vision Pulse is just so important. It's so important to use around the map. You're going to get it much faster than the Tempest, and I think in its own regard, you're going to be using it a lot more than Glitch is. So either way, just not a fan of the specialist picks overall. Would have really liked to see the Vision Pulse be brought out, but either way, it is kind of unfortunate. But I think it was a good point that you mentioned that with the overall loadouts. I think the EMPs are going to be ever prevalent, like you mentioned. Concussions and flashes, I believe, weren't touched either. So, I mean, just in general, though, if you're going to see those, like you said, those streaks being brought out, you see the Cerberus in the background, especially when it comes to Simps overall playing as well as Arcades. I mean, if they're sitting in the back of the map, I mean, be able to have trophies down, it's just kind of a